Hi, my name is Logan Stansbury, and today I'll be providing a brief overview of my thesis. This thesis was titled Strength in Numbers, Same-Race Peer Effects on Education Performance, Evidence from College Freshmen at the United States Military Academy. My advisor for this thesis was Dr. Susan Carter. So for the motivation, this is a peer effects paper. It looks at the impact of same-race peer effects on academic performance. So the theory is that if there are people who look similar to me in a class, I may feel more comfortable to go to them for help, to work with them on projects, and thus I will perform better in the class. It also fits in the broader picture of what's going on in the country in terms of social inequality and looking at the educational achievement gap for African Americans. The reason why this paper is important is because the impact of race in the classroom setting has been relatively unexplored, as it is difficult to causally identify because students at most colleges self-select into certain classes with certain teachers, and that's not the case at West Point. And for related research, there's a variety of research on peer effects. So for the research question, it is, does the presence of same-race peers in a class affect a student's academic performance? And above you see a figure that explains the identification strategy. So a freshman arrives at West Point, and then based off their high school scores and if they're a Division I athlete, they're assigned a class schedule. After being assigned a class, and that class has a class hour assigned, the registrar's department randomly assigns a cadet to section. So that conditional random assignment means that a student arrives in class with a random racial diversity, and it's going to allow me to causally identify the impact of same-race peers. For the empirical model below, you see course grade point average, which is the dependent variable, and then you have, in this case, it's African Americans, the total other of same-race peers, as well as it's a fixed effect. So you have fixed effects for course, teacher, class hour, term, year, and individual fixed effects in some specifications. The table shows the results of the paper. And so that for that column 1, after accounting for the fixed effects listed above, on average, the presence of an additional African American in a class improves the course grade earned by 0.011 for every African American in that class. This means that if 3 African Americans are added to a class, every African American class will earn 1.3% increase in GPA over the average, or a 3.9% increase in grade standard deviation. This is a very small impact. So for some results, I'm not finding significant evidence that same-race peer effects is occurring. This is consistent across gender and across other races. I'm also finding evidence that same gender peer effects is not occurring as well for females at the academy. I am finding some evidence that the peer effects impact is occurring for African Americans with SAT scores in the top 50th percentile. For Gauss-Markov assumption concerns, the random assignment may not have been perfect, so I did utilize individual fixed effects in my model. For the policy implications, it provides evidence that same-race peer effects is not impacting educational performance for cadets. For future research, I recommend looking into same-race peer effects in a cadet company, as previous research has suggested that for peer effects to occur, an individual needs to be exposed to that peer for an extended period of time. Thank you for listening.